My name is Charlie Ireland. I'm a farm business consultant and agronomist working with Strutt and Parker, based out of Chelmsford. We cover agronomy and crop management in the eastern counties and down into the southeast, Kent and Sussex. But getting a clean start is absolutely vital in any crop, because once Septoria really takes hold, it's becoming more and more difficult to control as it gets up the crop during the season, and that's particularly challenging with very variable springs, whether they be dry or wet, catchy springs which we've had, which have put the crop under really real pressure in chasing disease control all through the season. 2 years ago we saw it was incredibly difficult to get on top of that disease once it had actually got into the crop and taken hold, and that was both rust and Septoria. And with the shift in Septoria pressure and the ability of triazoles in particular to control Septoria, a clean start through Bravo and the new SDHI chemistry, particularly Seguris in its protective capabilities, is really important. This disease this season came in very early into the crop. We had a very mild, clement autumn, lots of moisture in the seedbed, plants, the wheat established very quickly, and we saw rust coming into the crop very early into October in some very forward crops down in the southeast, but generally most crops were showing signs of brown rust or yellow rust by the end of November. The three main diseases at T0 and T1 that we'll have a focus on. There's a little bit of mildew around in particular varieties, and we'll just see how that develops in the crop as we get up to T0, and it may be that a specific mildewicide is required. But the two key problems that I think we'll be facing will be Septoria and the rusts. As I previously said, we've got lots of rust coming in, particular varieties, yellow rust or brown rust. So getting on top of that early is going to be really important. And Septoria as well is developing. It's quite average at the moment, not exceptional, but making sure that doesn't spread up the canopy is going to be really important. So eradication of the rust is going to be job number one. Job number two will be protecting the canopy so that you're protecting green leaf as the crop develops into the spring. The T1 is going to be wholly dependent on how effective and well timed the T0 has been. The target of T0 is to knock down rust and protect against Septoria, and the mainstay of T0 will be Cherokee. It offers both of those factors in a very, it's a very easy product to use. It mixes very well with the growth regulators that will be timed in at T0 as well. If that has been well timed and the interval up to T1 has not been compromised, an interval of about 3 to 3.5, 4 weeks, depending on the weather conditions, that will allow you, the farmer, full flexibility to use the most appropriate product at that time. Seguris Keystone with the IZM offers a great chance to get 4 to 6 weeks protection from T1 going forward into T2, which as an insurance policy will form a good part of T1 thinking. Very much depends on the conditions at the time. Mixing that with Bravo is essential, and actually it's one of the advantages of using Seguris is that it allows you certain compatibilities in other tank mixes, and the flexibility to mix in chlormequat and some of the herbicides, which is on larger farms gives you more flexibility, as well as doing the best job for the crop of wheat as well.